everybody, this is Laura from PreQuilt, and I'm here for another video talking about Kinship and the bonus layouts and starter quilts that we created and how best to use them. So, like you might have known, we recreated both layouts that are found in the pattern here as starter quilts, meaning that you can just really quickly just get started. So we have A and B. We also have the collaboration that Angie did with Sam Hunter of Hunter's Design Studio, as well as the 6 bonus layouts that Angie created for this year. And these are really specifically built out to help people get to a milestone where they always have a finished quilt. And so we wanted to put maybe a little bit of a disclaimer around how best to use the starting quilts for customizing your own quilt as you participate in the Kinship. So these quilt layouts are really built for swapping out the blocks, so changing maybe where certain blocks are. They're great for changing the colors of the blocks or of the quilt itself, and you can even rotate some of the blocks that are not, pure reflections, so that maybe they're oriented in a way that you would like better. And the way we'd like you to think about it is like the way that your landlord, when you're renting an apartment, will let you paint the walls, put up the curtains, maybe even throw in a rug or carpeting. They're not going to really like you tearing down a wall. And so in a similar way, these starter quilts are really well built with a foundation, and they're really built for you to swap out the blocks, but it's going to be much harder for you to change the foundation, which would be the sashing or the borders, because there's just so much going on with all of them. So we'd really encourage you to just use these starter quilts for swapping out the blocks, changing colors, and rotating blocks. So I'm going to show you how to do some of these things using this the bonus layout 5, and I use this one because it's one of the more intricate ones, and I want to show you how you can swap things out. So I've already loaded it here. I'm just going to open it. Okay, so this bonus layout is designed with 80 blocks in mind. And so this one, like I was saying, it has this 1-inch sashing. This very difficult to change over the course because it impacts so many different areas of the quilt. So we really encourage you just leave the layout the way it is, but really start customizing it with the blocks themselves. So with this one, I really like the layout. I'm theoretically good with the 80 block idea, but I really want that heart. I love the 100-day block heart at the end, and I would like to put that into this quilt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, and first I would just need to delete this. So you do that by selecting the block and then hitting delete. And now I need to import the 100 block because this is already designed for 80 blocks. That's all we loaded in here, so that you didn't have clunky. It wasn't too clunky with blocks that you weren't being used. So you can see how it ends at 80 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to show more options, load blocks. I'm going to go to the collaborators with the Kinship, and I'm going to find that 100 block here, and I'm going to add that to the quilt. So now when I scroll down here, I'll find my block 100. I know it's not being used because there's a 0, and I'm going to add it to the quilt right there. And so that's great. Now I have all the blocks that I'd like in the place that I would like them. If I wanted to rotate some of the blocks, if maybe for example this one, I would like this little 4 patch to be in the top, so I can click on the block, hit the R, and it'll rotate. So it works really well because I'm just rotating the block within the window that it's in. Same with this one. I might want to have it left to right, on a diagonal. Maybe I'd like to rotate this one. This is all really what these starter quilts are really well designed to do. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use randomization of the colors to maybe come up with a really fun color palette that you might really enjoy, but not maybe you don't know what colors you want to use quite yet. So what you can do is go into the color tags. I'm going to save this as my original colorway, and then I'm going to clone it and start playing with, what else would I like? One of the things that you can keep in mind too is if maybe you don't want to be randomizing such a large selection of colors, you can go in here and you can choose one of your palettes that you've created already. You can choose one of the manufacturers. So I really like the AGF Studio Solids. I'm going to use that. And so now you can see that when I randomize the color, it's only going to draw from the AGF Studio Solids. I really like a lot of their colors. I find they always work really well together. So here I have, I really like this mauve and the pink, like this watermelon color, grapefruit. So I'm going to lock those and I'm going to continue playing with it until I get maybe some other colors that I really enjoy working with some more. Ooh, here. Yeah, now I'm getting somewhere because I really like that blue in there with them. And I just need to kind of maybe find something that'll work with those other ones. I'm just gonna start maybe just going in and maybe selecting something a bit more intentionally. Okay, so now I have this color, really fun kind of 80s-ish color palette, and I'm gonna save that. Now, just say I want to maybe see what it would look like without that honeydew green. Now I can clone an existing colorway, this existing colorway, and now I'm just going to change this to maybe what would it look like with a tile blue or an emerald or a hot coral reef or icy mint. Oh, I likey a lottie. And I'm just gonna wait for all those to switch over. So, wow, that's actually really nice. And so now what I can do is I can toggle back and forth between them to kind of see compare what they would look like. So this is colorway 3. I can always edit this to be is this the one? Colorway 2, so I can compare it. It's like, nope, yep, I really do like that mint. I like it a lot more than the green, although I still really like the green too. So you can save these and toggle between them to find out which ones that you want the best. So I'm gonna go back to my questionable the one, see if it lasts the test of time as it all slowly moves back. And so I really, really like this color palette. I actually have these fabrics in my stash that I can be using. I've customized this layout with putting the heart in, skipping to the end on this one, but I really want this heart to pop out some more. So this is where I'm going to go and override just this block and make it really stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the block. And I'm going to edit it. And what I'm going to do is then I'm going to change this background to something totally different. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play with it a little bit. So what I'm doing right here, is I'm going to change all the background pieces to white. So you could do this one at a time, and I'm going to just use a static color because it's not going to show up anywhere else in the quilt. I only want it to be here. So I could do this one at a time, kind of painful. The other way to do it is select all of the salmonishy colors by clicking one, hitting shift, and then continuing to select the rest. And then when I change it, it'll change it for all of them. It'll change it for all of them. Igor. There. I'm not sure what was. I must have been deselecting them. Let's see if it'll change it for all of them. Sorry about that, guys. I seem to be deselecting them as I select them, so I'm just gonna do one at a time here on these. Okay, so now I have this white, and I want to see, you know, does this make this pop enough when I save it and it's in the quilt? And ooh, I really like that. I do. I really like how this heart pops out. It's white against the mauve sashing. And now I just want this heart to pop out even more. So again, a way I edit, I click on the block. You can either right click for edit, or you can go to the blocks themselves and go down and edit the block. So now I'm just gonna change the color of this heart. And again, it's just gonna be this one. It's not gonna be any of the other ones. And again, I can do the shift. Oh, I know why, because I'm using the wrong keyboard, guys. Ha! It's a little late at night. Okay, so I have my heart, hot pink heart, and yeah, so there it is. It stands out, it's different, it still works with the other colors, and now I'm ready to get started. So I hope that, never forget to save. And I'm going to download the image as well. And then so this again, one of the best features of PreQuilt is that when you download the image, it becomes your source of truth and your quilt map. And that's what's really great about being able to use these and in collaboration with Gnome Angel, because now you can download not only the entire layout of your quilt here. You can download this as an image, but you can also download on the other side the blocks. So you can use it as a quilt map. So when you're putting these together and you're like, oh yeah, which one was my fabric A or fabric 1? Okay, icy mint. And that shows up in these blocks. So when I'm doing fabric block 1, I'm going to see, okay, great. I'm going to need these colors for that block. So you can download that. Print that out in color, and you'll always know what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, I'm going to save and close, and so then when you go to your dashboard, you're going to see this version of your quilt. Sorry, it just takes a couple of minutes to save. Oh, it's also important to know if you're wanting to do ombres or rows of different colors, that's when you would just customize the entire color, the entire row for each color. Later on next week, I'm going to go through the quilt and have a video on how I'm going to be planning on participating with my 21 block layout and the quilts. The quilt colors and the quilt blocks that I'm going to be using. Sorry, this is taking a little bit to save, but thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see what you're up to. Thanks so much. Bye.